Oh, how can I help you? Oh, you're looking for tech news? Yeah, sure, that's in the other file. 1 second. The upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 might allow Switch 1 consoles to be used as a controller and second display in essentially the same way that the Wii U gamepad was used until Nintendo forced the low-selling console to commit Sudoku out of shame. Sudoku? That is not the right word. Somebody's got it. This rumor comes from Xstasis, who has provided some fairly reliable leaked info in the past. But if you still think it sounds a little too out there, consider that Nintendo's tried this using previous consoles as controllers thing multiple times. You could use a 2DS or a 3DS as a controller for Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, if you had the 3DS version of the game. And Nintendo released an attachment and a cable that will let you use a Game Boy Advance as a controller to play Game Boy games on the GameCube. Gaming gamers games entirely. We'll have to wait to see whether this leak is as legit as the virtual game card system Nintendo officially announced at their Direct this week, which basically lets you treat digital games like physical game cards, sort of. The feature will let you eject a digital game and then digitally load it on another console that you're also signed in on. And then you can also lend your games to members of your family group for 14 days. While it's not nearly as flexible as the game sharing features on, say, Steam, it's a whole lot better than Nintendo not letting you share games at all, and then suing you for tweeting a Mario picture if you ask. Regardless, the Switch 2 is probably gonna sell like hotcakes, and at least one large US retailer has told Insider Gaming they're worried about not having enough Switch 2 stock at launch. Me, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the Legend of Zelda movie that Nintendo confirmed is coming out on March 26th, 2027, starring Chris Pratt as Link. That's a joke, hopefully. What would he even sound like? Chris will just do the Mario voice again. Hey, I gotta save another princess. Looks kind of the same, to be honest. Reviews are up for the laptop version of NVIDIA's RTX 5090 GPU, and even if you don't like that it's called a 5090, despite having less than half the cores of the desktop version, reviewers, including PC Mag, have confirmed it's the new fastest mobile GPU. I thought if AMD sold enough 9070 XTs, it would make that not true, but here we are. Yeah, despite Team Red's mid-ranger knocking its launch out of the park, people are still telling their moms to buy the green ones. German retailer Alternate was even briefly selling one of the defective RTX 5090s with a lower amount of ROP units for the truly desperate. And while initial reports this week of shelves at Micro Center being filled with unsold 5090 stock kind of made it seem like gamers were finally drawing the line at paying $3,719 for a graphics card, turns out those cards sold out too. Gamers, what are we doing? What would Gamer Gam think? Google has apparently solved the component quality issue that caused the company to delay the launch of its mid-range Pixel 9a smartphone directly after officially revealing it. This is for you, but not right now. Google has now confirmed release dates for the phone, which will launch on April 10th in the US, Canada, and the UK, April 14th in much of Europe, April 16th in some Asian countries, except Japan. Don't ask when. Google literally can't even think about Japan right now. I'm so busy. As for why they delayed the release, in a statement given to press, Google started right out with, "Rumors and speculation regarding this delay are false." Well, we didn't say anything. They are false! Jeez. Unless you speculated that the 9A was delayed due to a passive component not meeting Google's rigorous quality standards for device longevity, and so Google just wanted to fix the small number of affected units. I mean, if you guess that, then fine. I guess I'll tell you about our sponsor now. Sharge! They make stuff that charges your devices, but their new Disk Plus is a pocket-sized M.2 SSD enclosure. You okay, Sharge? What are you doing? Turns out it actually makes sense, because not only can the Disk Plus reach read-write speeds of 10 gigabits per second with its built-in data cable, you can pass power through its 2 USB-C ports to provide charging and storage at the same time. What? And they gave it a super thin and light aluminum minimalist design with an optional magnetic ring mount? You're gonna have to check out the Sharge Disk Plus at the link below. What? You want the quick bits now? Oh, okay. Those are way in the back, one sec. What am I doing? YouTube says they're running a small test where they're turning off notifications for channels a user is subscribed to if the user hasn't recently interacted with that channel's notifications. Now that may sound very dumb to you, but the problem is sometimes people don't manage their own channel-specific notifications, and then they're like, oh, why am I getting so many YouTube notifications? And then they go and they turn off all notifications from the YouTube app entirely. And then YouTube has to tell investors that you're not engaging. See where they're coming from? YouTube has to protect you from yourself, not protecting YouTube. YouTube says channels that upload infrequently won't be affected, so don't worry, H-Bomber guy will be fine. ASUS has unveiled its first AMD B580 motherboard with the company's 600-watt GC-HPWR connector, which is positioned in line with the top PCIe slots, so compatible GPUs can slot in and receive power without needing a flimsy cable like your Gamer Gam Gams PC from the 1950s. The board uses ASUS's BTF design, which means all the cables you do need are plugged in to the back of the motherboard, and it's also featuring the company's updated Q release system to protect from repeated GPU insertions. So your card won't be damaged if you start every gaming session by pulling it out and blowing on it. Sometimes it helps. Meta had a great idea this week. Hey, why don't we add a new feed tab in Facebook that only displays content posted by your friends? The company says the feature will bring the magic of friends back to Facebook, because along with your friends, the magic has been taking a little bit of a break. It's kind of surreal to see Meta being like, yeah, we know we've been the ones destroying our own platforms with AI slop, but what if you didn't have to deal with all of that garbage, which we will continue to encourage? That's innovation. And shortly after OpenAI showed off ChatGPT's upgraded image generator, people discovered it was particularly good at creating and modifying images to look like stills from a Studio Ghibli film. Ghibli? Don't think so. That's fun. If you're one of those people though, maybe take a break, because CEO Sam Altman says their GPUs are melting. So OpenAI is adding temporary rate limits on image generation. Also, anime image filters have been around for a while, and this one is making Studio Ghibli founder Hayao Miyazaki cry. Please come back for more tech news on Monday, or you'll make me cry. I won't let you see, though, unless you come back, which will actually prevent me from crying, so catch 22.